Welcome to League and More. I'm Gavin Payne, standing in for John Devine this week. So please take it easy on me. John, I'm sure I think he's at the Stradbroke Hilton, so I hope he's over there enjoying himself. We've got guests coming up. Brian Torpy, CEO of the Brisbane Tigers, as well as our usual cast of suspects in Johnny Buchanan, Mark Gliddon, Oliver Pascoe and Lewis Gibb. Oliver from the with a debut for the Cup side, and obviously Lewis, who's unfortunately injured, and we'll have a chat with him about his injury recovery and so forth. We'll come back up with some highlights of the East and Wynnum game over the weekend. An unfortunate narrow loss again for the Tigers. So look forward to seeing you back here soon. Welcome to League and More for another week. I'm Gavin Payne, standing in for John Devine. John's taking a well-earned break over at the Stradbroke Hilton, I think it might be. So, g'day John, hope you're having a good time and you enjoy me sitting in for you for the week. We're shortly coming up, we've got Brisbane Tigers CEO Brian Torpy coming on board, as well as the usual cast of suspects in John Buchanan, Mark Gliddon, Oliver Pascoe, who was on debut for the Cup side, and also Lewis Gibb, who's unfortunately on injury recovery out of the under-21s. Up on the screen at the moment, we've got the table. Unfortunately, the Tigers sitting in 10th position there, some 2 or 3 wins outside the top 8, but encouraging signs from the weekend's match versus Wynnum Manly. Unfortunately, a loss. Could easily have been a win, and I know we can say that quite easily, but we'll come back very shortly with the highlights to that match. And here we go now. So here they are, the Tigers. Tigers were first on the board in this match, actually in the early stages. Very, very encouraging signs. And as I said earlier, a game that they could easily have won. A couple of errors towards the second half, which we won't see, but let's have a look at this here now. So there goes to Torpy. Here's big Joey Gilmore. What a big man, forces his way over the line. Just a young man as well, eligible for Colts, and one of those Colts debutants that we talked about later in the show. Wynnum Manly obviously struck back towards the end of the first half at the 29-minute mark. Unfortunately, just a bit of a lapse in the centre of the field there, allowed the hands to get free with the big Wynnum front rower, and they got it off to their 5'8" for the try. Again, here we go. Isaac Luke out to Dalziel, on to De La Hoyta, and then flicks a beautiful pass out to the winger. Injured himself in scoring this try. On debut as well, this young man from Wynnum Manly, but obviously not the start to the second half that the Seagulls were looking for. But then straight away, the Tigers hit back. And here we go, and there's Pascoe backing up on the inside of Coghill to score his try on debut. Very happy, should be very excited as well. Got the Tigers back, I think at that stage it was to a 14-12 lead. During the period between what happens now and what you see at the moment, East had 2 opportunities to score, both times basically over the try line, but unfortunately held up, and in another instance lost the footy. Ball went down the other end. You just saw that try there scored, and here's another one just from a little hook kick over to the centre, and he scores that try, which was probably well deserved for Wynnum. They took their opportunities, and that's the difference between the top sides and the sides that are there or thereabouts in the competition. Again, as I say, they take their opportunities. They were very successful at doing that, and ran out 24-14 winners. Welcome back to League and More. I'm now joined by Cup coach John Buchanan. A close match against the Wynnum side on the weekend, mate, but no chocolates.
No, look, another contest we'll ride in pretty much till the last couple of minutes. It's just been probably the story of our last month, mate. We just haven't been able to sort of find a way to get a result at the end.
Are you starting to get a little bit frustrated just with the effort the boys are putting in, and I'm sure they're doing the same at training, but just not quite able to get those results?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely frustrating. But look, I couldn't fault their effort on the weekend. No. They're the benchmark of the comp. They've only been beaten once this year. To take them 76 minutes deep into a contest. I think we had a try disallowed there with 4 minutes to go, and we would have been kicking for the game. Yeah, look, that's the frustrating part, knowing we were that close. Probably more frustrating for us over the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks has just been the inconsistency with being our team on the park. It's been challenging.
Yep.
You know, a number of different spine options that we've had to use, and even like I think, you know, we're 11 rounds deep, mate. I think we've used 40 players in cup, so that's been the most challenging thing, particularly over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
It is challenging, but in another way, it's also beneficial going forward, and then perhaps not this year, but perhaps in future years, where you're blooding a lot of kids coming through and new players to the club.
Yeah, you know, that's probably the positive spin on it all. You know, unfortunately, we look at the now and not so much down the track, and you know, well, it's great for everyone else to have a look at that and go, you know, that we'll be in a better position hopefully this time next year with some of the experience that those guys are getting. It's still, you know, we want to win footy games right now, unfortunately. Absolutely. And we're not doing it. I
think you had 3 debutants on the weekend. I was most impressed with all 3, particularly Oliver Pascoe, who had a pretty good match.
Yeah, look, as I mentioned, I don't know if I've spoken to you guys about him, but he got put forward for a pre-season at the club last November, and actually a mate of mine who tossed him up said to me, he's a real good kid, he goes well, he's tough. And I said, what does he play? He said middle. I said, how big is he? And he said 75 kilos, and I nearly dropped the phone. So, but he's worked really hard. We've got him up to a reasonable sort of weight. He's a typical backyard footballer, to be honest. He's in everything. He's fast, he's tough, he just competes. And yeah, look, he got a late call up on the weekend. Jordan Grant got pulled out on Saturday afternoon, and to be honest, mate, I don't mean this to be disrespectful to Ollie, but we really only had Ollie and 2 other guys available to play, and the other 2 were backs, and we needed a forward. So Ollie got the opportunity, and he's grabbed it with both hands. Yeah, mate, he did very well. He scored a try on debut as well, which was at a pretty critical time of the match. It got you back into the lead. Yeah. He then also, soon after that, Wynnum scored again, and then you had a couple opportunities to wrest the lead back, but just fell short. One held up over the line, and then a drop ball, I think, just right on their try line. Yeah, look, we created plenty of opportunities. You know, we made 7 line breaks to 3, I think, or was compared to them. We just, for some reason, mate, we couldn't find a way to execute on the end of those opportunities. So, yeah, look, we, again, like young Kyle Coggill on debut as well. We only signed him earlier in the week, so it was a massive ask for him to go in on the back of 2 training sessions, but he did a great job for us, you know, and I thought he was one of our best as well on the day. So he created a number of opportunities, and yeah, we just couldn't find a way to put the nail in the coffin, so to speak, at the back end of the game. And again, mate, you know, we talked about the debutants, but you also had a relatively inexperienced team out there. I think Joey Gilmore has played 4 games for you. I think another kid, Atkinson, had only played 2. So again, mate, whilst the results aren't there now, and I know it's a now type of a sport where you need to win, and you need to win often. You're not that far out of the top 8. You've had, you know, I think 5 games where you've been defeated by 10 points or less. If circumstances changed around a little bit and you won, let's say 3 of those, well, you're right in the hunt for the top 8. And you're not out of it altogether at the moment either. So if you can string a couple of wins together, away you go. Yeah, I think what's important for us is hopefully we can get the same sort of footy team on the park. Now, if we can get a run of a month where we're pretty consistent with the team we're putting out, I think we're going to give a fair few sides a fright in the run home, that's for sure. That's been the biggest challenge. Yeah, as I said earlier, we haven't put the same team on the park 11 in any of the 11 games we've played. So, with those games though, mate, so it's just a matter of time before something turns. I believe you've been very competitive in and amongst those games. No game this weekend with the State of Origin on Sunday, a standalone fixture. Yep. What's your process? Were you given a couple of days off this week? We're training this week, Tuesday, Thursday, and then the boys will get a 4-day break until next Tuesday. We had a week off the last time we had a bye. We just felt this week we needed to do 2 nights at least without giving them a full week off. You know, it's just sort of where they're at in their blocks at the moment. But hopefully we may have a few back from injury. We may have 1 or 2 back from injury after the break as well. So we need to get some miles into those legs of those guys this week as well.
It's a fair injury toll. It's been reported to me as well, mate.
Yeah, it is.
Again, without making excuses.
No, but it's but hopefully, you know, Will Samuel's not too far away. He's obviously been out now for about 6 or 7 weeks with a facial fracture, and I think he's the only one who might be a chance next game. So we at least get 1 more available, and we got no injuries out of the weekend.
Good. Okay. Next up is whom?
Burleigh at Burleigh. So it doesn't get any easier.
That's a guaranteed 2 points, mate. You flogged them last time you played them in round 1.
It's all good, mate. I'm sure they'll remember that. So.
I guess they will, and they're on a bit of a roll as well at the moment. So, look, John, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. Your company every week is appreciated. I know it's not easy to sit there, easier to talk about when you're winning than when you're losing, but well, as I say, it's all character building.
It is, mate. Yep. No, you find out about yourself as a coach, that's for sure, through these periods.
Someone else once told me I don't need any more character, I need a win.
Yeah, that's true.
Good on you, John. Thanks very much. Cheers, mate. I'm now joined by Cup debutant Oliver Pascoe. Oliver, a good match on the weekend, not quite the result that you were looking for. Your debut at the Brisbane Tigers, so tell us a bit about that game.
Oh yeah, it was a solid game. They were obviously at the top of the table. They're always going to come out and be one of the best teams to beat. But I thought we stuck it to them for a good 70 minutes there, but it just took a couple lapses for them to get on top of us. And for me, debut was pretty special, and it was good.
Who presented your jersey, mate?
My old boy. So it means a lot to him. I brung him up here with me. So it means a lot for him to present.
So where have you come from to get to the Tigers? Tell us a little bit about your journey.
So I'm originally from Gunnedah, which is like northwest New South Wales, and then moved to Port Macquarie, which is mid-north coast, and I went to Farrer as a young boy, to boarding school back home, and come up here through one of my coaches at Warwick. He used to play up here, Anthony Boyd. He played a lot of footy up here, he got me up here into East, and
who made contact with who? Did you inquire with the club?
Anthony inquired for me, so he sorted everything out, and I just had to come up here and do my thing.
And how are you finding it?
Yeah, I love it. It's a really good club, and they've just sprung me in really nice and really good. So yeah, I like it.
Terrific, mate. Scored a try on debut, as I said. I thought you had a wonderful game. I think you come on, sort of midway through the first half, and I don't think you got replaced after that. So that first try, pretty memorable.
Yeah, it was pretty special. It was right in front of the chook pen, and I remember looking up, and they were just dead silent. So it was a real good feeling. And
they're a bit of a noisy bunch.
Yeah, they're very
aren't
noisy.
they?
Yeah, it was good to silence them. So
yeah, you as a team, you had your opportunities to win that game.
Yeah,
you led for portions of the game, and then just a couple of errors sort of midway through that second half.
Kind of couple tries that should have been scored, and it's just at footy, it's just what happens, I guess.
Yeah, it is, I guess so. Looking forward to obviously playing some more games in Cup. You think you'll get some more cracks?
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Get on well with the coach?
Yeah, we get on well.
Yeah, 6-pack every now and then. How do you go?
That's what you got to do.
What's the bribery? What's the bribery?
6-pack. He loves the 6-pack, as you can see.
He's a pretty cheap coach.
Yeah, he is.
Outside of rugby league, mate, what's your interests?
Well, I don't really do much other than footy.
Yep.
Work. I used Tyler, but I haven't been doing that since I come up here. Just more focused on footy.
So a full-time footy player at what age are you now?
21. I still work for unpack containers, but it's not something I want to do forever, kind of thing.
You're at Young Guns?
Nah, not Young Guns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I work for Michael Lambert.
Okay, everyone's at Young Guns.
Yeah,
I see. My sons used to be over at Young Guns as well, so I think they employed a whole pile of people.
Yeah, they do. It's not too bad of a job, but wouldn't recommend to the soft-hearted kind of thing.
What's your plans for a week off this weekend? What's your plans?
Week off or just recover from a pretty solid game. A few bumps and bruises, but just try and focus on the weekend after.
That's it?
Yeah.
No parties,
no parties.
No lemonades on the weekend or anything like that? No
girls? I had a few after the game actually, so I'll give it a rest this weekend.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations on that debut. I hope there's many more games to come. I thought, again, as I said, I thought you had a wonderful game. I thought the Tigers were a little bit stiff, but there's been a few occasions that you've probably seen and witnessed where they've got beat by just a handful of points here and there. So their season's not going so well. Your season's on the up and up, obviously, with that debut, and look forward to many more games and seeing you play many more.
Thanks, mate.
Okay. We're joined now by Colts coach Mark Glidden. Mark, you had a trip away without the cup side up to Townsville, I believe, on the weekend. How did you find that?
Yeah, look, it was good. We changed the flights. Originally, we were flying down on Saturday morning. Changed them to Friday night, what I thought was better for our preparation. And we got the 2 points, so I think that had a little bit to do with it. The boys were a little more relaxed due to getting a decent sleep and that sort of stuff. And I was a bit worried about them, thinking about having a drink after the game rather than worrying about the 2 points. So that worked out really well. It's pretty hot up there. It's nice and humid, and it probably hurt us a little bit in certain areas. But all in all, we came back with the 2 points, so it was quite pleasing. Yeah, mate, and you're travelling quite well as well. There's a number of wins in a row now and getting on a little bit of a roll, which is encouraging. Yeah, we started the year poorly. We put 4 wins together. We had a really poor effort against Tweed Heads, and then we've put 3 together, and 2 of them have been on the road. What's really pleasing, one was in Cairns and one was in Townsville, so it doesn't get any easier. We go up to Rockhampton in a couple of weeks and we play the Capras up there, but I'm sure tough country boys, they'll be nice and tough up there. And those matches that you mentioned in Townsville and Cairns were against sides that are thereabouts that you're competing with at that top end of the competition as well, so that's encouraging also. Yeah, definitely. Look, Blackhawks, they're a really good footy side actually. It surprised me. We got out to an 18-0 lead and I was pretty happy and things were going our way, and we dropped our guard 10 seconds before half time. We just had a little slip up and let them in for a try, and they came out breathing fire in the next 10-15 minutes after half time, and before we knew it, we were behind on the scoreboard. So to the boys' credit, we hung in there and we won ugly, and it's probably the first time this year we've won ugly, so that was most pleasing. And as I said, they're a fair football team. There's no such thing as ugly wins, mate, but a good win nonetheless. I see, as you say, you were behind. I think you led 18-6 or something at half time, and then got behind 26-18 and finished up jagging a couple of late tries. So that shows character. Oh, definitely. Look, I said to Greg Hines, who's our manager, who's sitting there doing our stats, I don't think we're doing enough to win this game, and we got to the stage where we made it 26-all, and I said, what, I'd be happy with a draw today, the way we've gone in this second half, and young Jonah Peasants kicked the goal from near the sideline, and we hung on in the last 3 or 4 minutes, so it was quite pleasing. Coupled with that, mate, is I imagine your team's changing pretty regularly, not only with injuries, but I think there was 3 of your side debuted in Cup on the weekend, or at least a couple of boys, and you've had a number of those debut in Cup over the course of the last period. So that all adds weight to merit to your results. Yeah, look, it does. It's funny what Melbourne do in the NRL affects what we do here in 20s. So it's just the way it is. It's the systems, and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, to be honest. What it does, it gives guys opportunity in Cup and what we've achieved this year. And I said that from day one. If we get 5 or 6 blokes making their Cup debut, excuse me, it means we're doing our job. Yep. And we've achieved that already with, I think, 6 blokes have made their Cup debut this year. So it's really pleasing, and we're still hanging in there and getting wins. So it's a good result. Great credit to the coach and the playing staff most particularly. Perhaps a different scenario now that you're winning games regularly, and you're up near the top of the ladder where you become the hunted rather than the hunter. Does that change the thinking of the playing staff? Oh, I don't think so, not too much. To be honest, to be fair, I think Wynnum are the side to beat. I went and watched them on Sunday when we got back. They played before our Cup, and they're a fair footy team, and they're going from strength to strength. They were pretty clinical against Tweed Heads on the weekend. So, look, I think we just roll up each week, the old cliche, whoever we're playing, we do our homework on them, and we make sure we get it right, and we get the little things right, and we run hard, we tackle hard. And nothing's changed in footy over 30 years as far as I'm concerned. If you run hard and you tackle hard, you win games. And that's probably our philosophy at the moment. If we run hard and tackle hard as a group, we win footy games. Absolutely. You mentioned earlier, next game's against the Capra. That'll be 2 travelling away games, which these boys wouldn't be at all used to, typically.
Do you have to change your processes for that?
A little bit. I'm not sure where we're going to go next week. We may train just on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and I'll give them the Friday night off. I'm thinking along them lines. I'll probably pick Trad McLean, who gives me a hand's brain on that one. He travelled with the Bronx for 12 years, and he travelled with the Tongan World Cup team for a while too. So I'll pick his brain and see what he thinks on that. It will be an early flight out to Rocky. I know that, probably 6:37 in the morning. We'll play about 3 in the Arvo. Hopefully get the chocolates, and that will be the time I've got to start worrying, because we're spending the night in Townsville. So spending the night in Townsville with 17, 21-year-olds will be interesting. Not Townsville, sorry, Rockhampton, I should say.
17, 21-year-olds and a 32-year-old coach. Could be dangerous.
I'm a bit older than 32.
Look, Gliddo, continue on that winning way. You know, obviously you've got to work hard to be successful, and no doubt the boys are, and you are as well, and putting a lot of time and effort into it. So continue on that winning way, as you say. Keep pushing those kids up for their debuts in Cup, and all the best for the rest of the season.
No, I appreciate that, Payne, and as the late, great Jack Gibson said, the harder you work, the luckier you become. So.
That's exactly right, mate.
Cheers,
All the best.
Payne, appreciate it.
Mate. Welcome back to League and More. I'm joined this afternoon by under-21s guru Lewis Gibb. Lewis, bit of a bad season for you. We'll get into that in a minute, but can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you play, and so forth?
So I'm been in the club for a while now. Play a bit of edge back row. Anywhere really, just not hooker. You know, a bit too tall. But no, just season's already over, even though we're not finished yet. Just had a shoulder surgery at the start of the year. But no, just here, you know, getting ready for next year and so forth.
What were the circumstances behind the shoulder, Rico?
I was actually playing a trial match, and funnily enough, scoring a try, which don't happen often, and just popped it out. And yeah, just tore my labrum on the way out and in, and yeah, had to get it fixed up. So
you said that you come through. Did you come through East Juniors as such?
Yeah, I started playing back in 2007, I think it was.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a break from footy and moved over to the East Affiliate Club Carina and under 13s, but yeah, East Junior for a while now. Yeah.
How's the shoulder recovery going?
It's going good. Started running last week, and it's good to get the lungs going again and stuff. But it's going good, and it's on track to heal properly. So
you've no doubt been supporting the boys and the games that you can get to. Obviously they're up in Townsville last weekend, so you can't get up there. But yeah, giving them all your support.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's come down here every weekend. Sometimes get to go out to Tweed and things like that when the travel's supplied. But obviously not weekend gone. Yeah. But yeah, no, love getting around the boys.
Are you still involved with the team as such, like getting together with the club meetings and team meetings and things like that?
Yeah, 100%. Gliddo's asked me to stay with the team and, you know, keep coming to trainings, and even though it's not really a season for me, just keep being around the boys for some moral support and stuff like that. And I enjoy still being around the team and stuff. It's awesome. Yeah.
So you mentioned before we got on air about being a 19-year-old. So your plans going forward, what do you think you're going to be doing in a couple of years' time?
Obviously the main goal is probably playing NRL, but more of a short-term goal would be to get re-signed for next year and the following year, and hopefully give Queensland Cup a crack if JB gives me the opportunity or I play well enough to get a crack up there.
Now, you walked in and you're quite a tall young lad. Once you fill out, do you think you'll be able to stay out in that back row role out on an edge?
Oh, look, depends how fit I can stay, I guess. But you know what, if I get moved into the middle, can't hurt.
Yeah. With the boys, any extracurricular, I'll get that right, extracurricular activities that you do outside of footy with the lads, or what else do you do other than when you're away from football?
Normally been playing Sundays, so, you know, but now a couple of boys catch up for breakfast here and there during the week, and you know, sometimes we have a couple of quiet ones on the weekend if there's no work Monday or we got a Saturday game. But yeah, so I would have a couple of quiet ones this weekend, come back from Townsville.
Do the boys have a weekend off this weekend? I know the Cup do.
I believe we do have a weekend off, yeah.
Might be a couple of beverages happening this weekend, eh?
We'll have to see.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so as far as getting back on the field next year, what do you think? Where's your goal? Do you think will you get back this year at all?
Look, I don't want to push myself back to be this year's. Again, the focus is to get it fully right, so I don't have any problems later in my career. But if I get back this year, I get back. But if I don't, we'll work towards next year.
And outside of footy, you do your work? What's your hobbies? Do you play golf?
Would love to say I play golf, but not too great at it. No, I do work with kids and stuff like that, outside hours care and things like that.
Oh yeah.
But just footy's basically my hobby, my life.
Really?
Yeah.
How good is that as a 19-year-old? There's plenty of people that love to be doing that. So it's just a part-time with the young children. Is it a childcare centre or something like that?
State school and just working with.
Like a teacher's aide or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's very rewarding too when you see what sort of ages are those kids?
Kids just go from prep to grade 6, so get a wide range of ages. So
very good.
See different end of the spectrum each week.
Absolutely. Look, hopefully everything goes well with your recovery from that shoulder surgery. We'll look forward to seeing you back on the field next year, as I'm sure that Gliddon will if you're around and you get re-signed, which I'm hoping that will happen for you. So all the best with your career going forward. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on League and More, and we'll catch up soon.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Welcome back to League and More. I'm Gavin Payne. I'm joined this afternoon by a special guest, Mr. Brian Torpy, CEO of the Brisbane Tigers. Just going to get a little bit of a mid-season update and ask a few other pertinent questions of Brian. So if we can bring him in, Brian. So far, the season hasn't gone quite as well as hoped as far as the results are concerned with the Cup side. Can you give us a bit of a mid-season report on them?
Yeah, sure. No, we'd certainly like to be a little bit higher up on the ladder. There's no doubt about that. It's been a bit of a mixed year for us, really. We with the change in the amount of people you can register with the club. Yep. We didn't go with a big squad, about 28, and we've probably had a few injuries, which has probably put us a little bit more bit pressure than normal.
Yep.
We certainly would like to be a little higher on the ladder, but circumstances haven't probably helped us there. We started reasonably well.
Yep.
Good win against Burleigh, but we probably just haven't maintained that going forward. But it was a good result on the weekend with Wynnum. We went down, but I thought the boys had a real good dig on the weekend. I was very impressed with their resilience in that game, and Wynnum on top of the table.
Yeah.
And we had chances to win that game. So
indeed,
no, they were good.
Yeah, I'll go into that with John a little bit later. I think they've had something like 39 players run through the club this year in the Cup grade. So I mean that's a big number for any team.
Oh, exactly right. No, and key positions as well. We lost. If you look, we lost Michael Purcell, the back, with an ACL. Riley Jacks last weekend. Yep. We've had 2 players of broken jaws as well. So we've run a little bit short in the middle.
Yep.
With some players. Dan Russell's has knee surgery on his knee. Sam Levere pulled out after a captain's run on the weekend, and then we lost Jordan Grant as well doing a captain's run for Melbourne Storm. So. Just a bit of bad luck there. You
must have a few black cats roaming around the club somewhere, eh?
Yeah.
And the other teams, mate, I know the girls have finished and didn't make the finals, but the under-21s and your BRL affiliates, how are they travelling?
Yeah, well, the girls are finished. They ended up in about 6 spots. So they're a younger side.
Yep.
And Adrian Vell's coming quite late, so he did a good job with that team, particularly in the back end of the year, so they improved, which was a good result.
Yep.
But our 21s are going quite well, equal top of the table. They're a good side, good bunch of young guys there, and a lot of them have done a pre-season with Cup. So we're working on promoting our young guys through the club, and more than trying to recruit. And so young guys like Joey Gilmore, Hanali Fanau, Solomona Fatapi have all debuted for the club this year. And then also we've had, last week we've had some juniors. We had 4 juniors from East Juniors played Cup, which was a good result. So
absolutely.
But 21s are going well. Mark Gliddon's doing a good job with them, and we'd like to think they'll feature pretty prominently in the finals. Yeah, and you've had a number of those under-21s go up and get a taste of the Cup experience as well. I think there was 3 at least on the weekend, and several probably in the preceding few weeks also. Yeah, exactly right. It's probably the most Colts I've seen debut in a year. Yeah. Which is good. So we've got a good bunch of young fellas coming through. So they'll get great experience out of that. You think, imagine those kids with 20 games under the belt or 25. Certainly hold us in good stead going forward. No worries at all.
any development on the ground redevelopment, mate? Can you give us an update on that as well?
Yeah, well, our architects are busily putting the tender document together, so we're still on track for start construction at the end of October, finish in June 22. So no real changes there. We're just plodding along, getting that done, but that'll definitely go ahead. There's no doubt about that.
So it's all approved, it's all ready to go basically, and we'll just turn the first sod of soil in a couple of months.
We'll go to tender soon.
How exciting is that?
It'll be great.
That's terrific, mate. Well done. And just lastly, mate, I know it's the topic on everyone's lips. Certainly it's been high on your agenda for a number of months, if not a couple of years. The Firehawks, can you give us the latest on the Firehawks bid?
Yeah, bids closed on the 7th of June, so we submitted our response to the criteria and our business plan, and so the NRL have had that for a couple of weeks. So I expect to meet with them very shortly, maybe do a presentation to them. They'll look to make their decision at the July board meeting. Okay. So hopefully, if they do decide to go ahead with another team, we'll know who that'll be, hopefully.
Have you got any feeling either way whether they will put another side in, or not necessarily the Firehawks? Obviously there's 3 teams bidding for the licence, but have you got a feeling anyway that they definitely heading that way?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, sorry.
Yeah, okay, no, it's just,
I don't
it's just
know.
interesting for the viewers.
They might decide they're going to do it. Or they must say they don't. I couldn't answer that question.
I guess
up to them.
I guess it depends on the strength of the bids and the backing that they have. So I think you're in a very strong position to be that successful bidder. Should they come on board? Should that be allowed to happen? So
we were very confident in our bid. It was a good. Our submission was very good. We feel so. We think we're in with a good chance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Terrific, mate. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
My pleasure.
All the best with all that. Hopefully we can get a few more wins in the Cup grade going forward, and they're not out of it by any means. I think there's 2 or 3 wins outside that top 8, so a couple more W's in the W column will be very handy in the coming weeks.
Need a bit of luck with injuries and get the side together and fall into the finals, hopefully.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks very much, Brian. And that concludes our League and More episode for this afternoon. We'd like to send a special thanks out to all of the viewers out there of League and More. I think we've had something like 16 episodes, including the Firehawks introductory press conference some few weeks ago. And in amongst those 16 episodes, we've had over 100,000 viewers tune in. So thank you very much. You make this an enjoyable show. We hope you enjoy watching it as well. We'll be back with more next week. The Tigers have got a week off this week, as we mentioned during the show. So they're going to take it easy, and we come back hopefully with a win in the following week, and we can get them on a positive roll.